Hey boo, welcome back to my channel and to the I'm Okay series, where I offer gems I've learned along my journey of artistry, love, and life. Typically when these words hit me, I immediately wish I would have learned them earlier. Like the minute I realized I had dreams and desires is when I would have wanted to really understand these words. But then I realized most of the words were already spoken to me, but they were only going to stick when my mind was ready. So breathe, forgive yourself for literally everything, and let's get whole. Hi. Hi. Let's get high. No, I'm kidding. Welcome back. We are now in the fourth installation of this podcast. I'm still so excited. I'll let you know if it wears off. I don't think it will. This is going to be a very quick video because it's really so simple, and I noticed myself doing it today, and it just hit me that I now know how to stop it, and that is spiraling. Spiraling. How many people spiral? I know I do, and if you're anything like me, you're an overthinker. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a super fixed sign. I have a thought and I just lock into that bad boy. Like, I am really good at focusing, and that can be a really good thing or that can be a really bad thing depending on the starting point of my thoughts. I think I get it from my mom, to be honest. And I tell her this all the time, she tells such great stories of things that haven't actually happened yet. If you want a bedtime story, tell my mom something amazing that has happened in your day, and she will expand on it. I think that's one of the things that makes her such a great mom, but I think I get that from her. And, unfortunately, anxiety sometimes causes me to tell my mind the stories that I don't want to happen. Because like I said before, I know how to focus in, on one thought, and then other thoughts join it. So in this episode, I want to talk about spiraling and how to do what I call a reverse spiral. Yes, it is possible to reverse spiral. Over time, I have actually learned how to control my thoughts, recognize when I'm thinking something that makes me uncomfortable, because I can tell by the way my body feels what kind of thoughts that I'm thinking. So my chest will be tight, my breathing will be a lot more shallow, different indications that are happening with me physically. Maybe my stomach will feel a little tight, or I'll have a headache, and then I'll notice that it's because I'm spiraling in my thoughts. And so a reverse spiral is basically just kind of unraveling those thoughts. If you think about an actual spiral, you can picture how that funnel goes, the funnel of thoughts goes, and you just kind of just do it in reverse. So it's really simple, but the first thing you have to do if you find yourself spiraling, and you'll know if you're spiraling by the way you feel, is stop. Stop and do something called box breathing. Now, for those of you who don't know what box breathing is, it's basically holding your breath for a certain amount of seconds, breathing in for that same amount of seconds, holding it again for that same amount of seconds, and breathing out for that same amount of seconds. And that basically creates what is called a box. That's why it's called box breathing. So the first step is you stop, box breathe, notice your breath. Notice, is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it rapid? Notice your breath first in the box breathing. And the next step is to choose another thought. Now, I know that sounds very simple, because it is, but sometimes when things are simple, we overcomplicate it. At least for me, I tell myself it can't be that simple. It has to be harder than that. And then I complicate what is a very simple process. So I'm going to give you a few different starting points of different thoughts to choose to then reverse spiral. And the first one is to remember the joy of a past experience. Did you have a win? Like if you play sports, did you have a win? Or maybe your favorite sports team did win a game and you remember yourself being really happy in that moment, celebrating with your friends. Did you go on a really dope trip, with your girlfriends or with someone you love? If you went on one of those trips, remember how that felt. Remember what you did. Or one of my favorite things to do is remember an era. Like I like to think about the 90s or the 70s. To me, those are just two of the dopest times. The hair, the fashion, the music, the movies, the lingo, the dances, like the skin. I love the 90s and 70s. As you can see, you could already tell that my energy is changing just thinking about it. But remember the joy of a past experience, even if it's not your own past experience. Remember that joy. And the second thing you can do as a starting point for your reverse spiral is to imagine something wonderful happening in your future. And if you've watched the first episode, I talk about imagination a lot. So check that out if you need help with your imagination. The third choice you have for a starting point thought is to focus on something you love and appreciate, like a pet, a friend, a family member, a community member, a crush, a favorite place. All those things are things you can focus on that are great starting points for your reverse spiral. And then the last step to reverse spiral is to focus on that thought for a minute or more. Some people say 17 seconds, some people say 68 seconds. What has personally worked for me is to focus on that thought for at least 1 minute. Put a timer on, listen to an instrumental, or box breathe with that thought. And what you'll notice is in that thought, you will start to attract other thoughts that are related to that one will join it. And before you know it, your mood will change, your vibe will change, and ultimately your outcome will change, your day will change. And if you think about the way I just explained that is a spiral. It's a reverse spiral. So there you go. I know this video wasn't very long, but it wasn't supposed to be. It's very simple. I know that we kind of aren't taught to control our thoughts and to notice our thoughts, but remember that your thoughts are just thoughts. Whether they've happened in the past or could happen in the future, recognize that they're not actually happening now, and recognize that those thoughts are seeds and you water them with your attention and energy. So I really hope this helped. Breathe. Forgive yourself for spiraling. It is something that you've been doing for a long time, and it's really a method to protect yourself. You're trying to predict the outcome so that you can be ahead of the curve, so you can be ahead of the event. But what you're actually doing and what no one tells you is that you're attracting the event. You're not preparing for it, you're attracting it. So yeah, that is my process for reverse spiraling. You can do this. It's not as hard as you think it is. Just pick a new starting point and always remember to breathe. Love you. Enjoy the rest of your week. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this and get more tips like this, like, share, and subscribe. And turn on the bell notification so that you get notified whenever I put out a new video. Also, if you like the song that's in the background, it is called I'm Okay from my latest project, Blackcurrant, which is available on all streaming platforms. I love you. Have a great week. I'm okay with